Cunningham calling for it. And we have our first out of the game. A pop out to short. And with one away, that'll bring up the second baseman, Eric Gian. So it's Sauce at third, Cunningham at short, Filter at second, and Walsh at first. There you see Trevor Banning making his 10th appearance. And look at that microscopic ERA as the right-hander gets ready to face Eric Gian. Just underway here in Santa Clara. And throughout the early innings, you'll see that shadow from the first base side make its way all the way out to the outfield. Sunset typically right around 7:30. So we've got a little while to go here as Banning gets ready to throw to Gian. This one's fouled directly back as Gian was right on it. Gian, the junior second baseman. You saw Court McDonald's average. Gian right behind him at 345. Puts the ball in play. And here comes the 1-1 delivery. Hit well to left field. This one is on its way to the track. Now stopping at the track as Fujimoto takes a step in and makes the catch. That one was hit well. Don't see a ton of wind out there. If anything, it's blowing out. There's that flag just inside the left field foul pole. The American flag is blowing out right now, and you see those bushes behind that left field fence in the wind going back and forth as Sasaki swings at the first pitch and lifts it straight up behind home plate. Coming back for it is Karsten, and we'll watch as that one lands in the third row behind home plate. Sasaki, one of our players to watch. Big, powerful first baseman, just a sophomore. Batting average at 268, but the 12 home runs and 28 driven in show what kind of damage he can do. Had a couple of home runs against Miami over the weekend. These two teams were locked in a pitcher's duel last week as Banning bounces the next one, now 2-1. There you see the numbers on Sasaki. Santa Clara ended up winning that game last week on the 15th, 2-1 at Sunken Diamond. And the count now 3-1. And winning on deck is Teddy Tokheim. Broncos scored 2 runs in the 7th inning of that one after being held without a hit into the 7th inning, as the 3-1 pitch is taken low and a 2-out walk for Sasaki. And that's a category he leads the team in, I believe. That is his 31st walk of the season. And Tokheim will get a chance to bat here after the 2-out walk. Tokheim at 6'3", 215. He's a freshman from up in Seattle. And quickly ahead of the count. Tokheim did not have a hit against the Broncos, but finished his weekend series off against Miami very well. Couple of hits, drove in 3. Sasaki a short lead at first and swinging through a breaking ball. And Banning now has the count even at 1-1. But this is a young man who is 7th in the conference at batting, 5th in slugging, and only a freshman, just off the outside corner. And Tokheim ahead in the count. Home plate umpires Ruben Candelaria, Bill Shortridge at first base, and Ricardo Rodriguez over at third. Sasaki is over at first with a short lead, being held on over there. And for the second straight batter, Banning now behind in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. There you see Ruben Candelaria has been a baseball umpire or a base umpire for many years in the Bay Area. This one's lifted foul outside of first. Giving chase briefly is Waylon Walsh over at first base, but that gets beyond that first base dugout, and so Sasaki will head back to first. Sasaki has not attempted to steal a base this year, and now Walsh will play behind the runner, and there he goes. This one is up high for ball 4. So back-to-back walks. Sasaki down to second, and J.J. Moran, the third baseman, will come up. Yeah, in that game, the last meeting, Stanford pitchers, Broncos at bay. Santa Clara, I don't believe, got their first base runner until the 5th inning. And then in the 7th inning, the Broncos started with a walk, then had a hit batter, and 2 outs later with runners at second and third, Luke Devine was able to push one through the infield for a base hit. And 2 runs scored, and Santa Clara held on for the victory at 2-1. Moran, the sophomore from San Diego, had an awesome start to the season for the Cardinal as Banning throws. And behind the count, 1-0. There you see his numbers. Sunday in that 14-run outburst for the Cardinal. A couple of hits, a couple of runs scored. Started the season hitting safely in his first 12 games. And I believe we have a balk called. Well, and Rusty Filter's going to come out now and have a word with his freshman right-hander. Let's take a look again exactly. Oh, he started to come set right there. Yeah, Banning started to kind of rock into bringing that right arm up. And I think he knew it. You'll typically see a pitcher immediately, throw his arms out and say, wait a second, what do you mean? That was not a balk. But maybe a little bit of confusion between Banning and his catcher, Cohen Karsten. So the balk moves the runners over 90 feet. Sasaki at third, Tokheim at second, and J.J. Moran ahead of the count, 1 ball and no strikes. If Moran can keep this inning going here in the top of the first, Charlie Bates, the shortstop, is on deck. But Banning now hopefully settle down a little bit and see if he can get the Broncos out of this top of the first. Swing and a miss on a ball up around the letters. Runners lead at second and third. Off the fist and foul directly back. These two teams started their head-to-head series back in 1959. Stanford with the advantage in the head-to-head. Banning throws. This is one hit well to right field. A couple of steps in at first for Tiendes. Now back at the track or just in front of it to make the catch. So a couple of walks and runners in scoring position, but Banning gets out of it. No runs, 2 left on as we go to the bottom of the first here at Schott Stadium in Santa Clara. Broncos coming to the plate. Stanford and Santa Clara 0-0 on ESPN+. Broncos get out of a jam in the top of the first, and now we'll set to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. Russ Filter, Hunter Fujimoto, Luke Devine, 1, 2, and 3 in the order. Waylon Walsh, Bryant Viskovich is the designated hitter with Matthew Tiendes putting a left-handed bat in the number 6 spot. Camden Sauce at third base. Kai Cunningham moving over and played a little short today. Another left-handed bat in there for Rusty Filter, and Cohen Karsten will catch and bat ninth. Tokheim, McDonald, and Sell in the outfield left to right. Moran and Bates on the left side of the infield. Gian and Sasaki on the right. Stoll behind the plate. And a Bay Area product down here in the South Bay, Brock Kettleson. Left-handed thrower, a freshman from Valley Christian High School here in the South Bay. And a true two-way threat. Guy who can hit, and he throws well. In fact, the last time he pitched was the last time these two teams played, when the Broncos and Cardinal played on the 15th at Stanford. Kettleson pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up a couple of, I'll double check to make sure, gave up a couple of runs in that game, as Filter, the leadoff man in the right-handed batter's box, will get an opportunity to get things going for Santa Clara, as Kettleson with the infield back up the middle and pinched in just a little bit on the corners, and Kettleson quickly ahead of the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Kettleson, 22 innings, 6.95 ERA. Looking to get things started strong here, and a swing and a miss as Filter, not sure if he foul tipped that into the glove of Nolan Stoll, but nevertheless goes down swinging to start the game, and that'll bring up Hunter Fujimoto. Another South Bay product, Fujimoto, also Valley Christian. Broncos getting a look at some of the younger players in this one. Check swing. And quickly ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Fujimoto, just his 18th at bat of the season. 235 average. Takes one right down the middle. Told you a little bit about the series history. Stanford, 150 wins, 85 losses, and 1 tie. So this would make this the 237th meeting between these two schools. This one's rolled foul. Santa Clara, though, has won the last 2, including that game last week. And what was a pitcher's duel? You don't have to go too far back to find one of your non-pitchers duel in this series. We'll tell you about it in a second. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Taken just high, and we are full. Back in May of 2023, the two teams played right here and combined to score 37 runs in a 9-inning ball game. Taken high, Fujimoto walks, and that'll bring up Luke Devine. Devine has been swinging a hot bat for Santa Clara. Nine for his last 28. That's a .321 batting average over his last 6 games. And had the hit that scored the 2 runs with 2 outs in the 7th inning against Stanford last week in the 2-1 victory. Swinging through the first offering from Kettleson. But that game back in May of 2023, Stanford 20 runs, 19 hits. Santa Clara 17 runs on 17 hits in a game that lasted just shy of 4 hours here at Schott Stadium. Short lead at first in the dirt. Fujimoto easily back. Had some big games in there. Stanford first baseman Carter Graham, 4 for 5, a home run. Drove in 7 that day, as we see Luke Devine's numbers. Kettleson throws. This one is off the fist, right out to second. And the catch is made by Eric Gian. 2 outs. Fujimoto remains at first. Waylon Walsh, the first baseman, will get an opportunity to bat in the first inning. Efren Manzo for Santa Clara had a home run in that game, 5 driven in. There is one player for Stanford who is still on the team and pitched in that game. And we'll see if we see him here tonight. Kettleson started with a strikeout of Russ Filter. Fujimoto walked. Devine off the fist, a soft line out to second base. And now Waylon Walsh takes a strike. And behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Bryant Viskovich, the designated hitter, on deck for Santa Clara. Here in the bottom of the first. Check swing. He went. And the throw down to first for the out. So Santa Clara gets a base runner but leaves it on the walk. And after one complete inning here at Santa Clara, Stanford and the Broncos 0-0 on ESPN+. Top of the second inning, and the Broncos have brought on Andrew Haberman, right-handed pitcher who last pitched on Sunday. And he'll start against J.J. Moran, the third baseman. Well, let's double check. This is Charlie Bates, the shortstop. And Bates will take one. And the count evens up at 1-1. Charlie Bates, 271, 8 home runs. Has some speed on the bases as well. Palo Alto High School. And the left-handed batter waits and takes one inside. Ninth appearance for Haberman. Through an inning against Pacific last time out, faced 3 batters. And finds himself behind in the count here early. There you see Bates's numbers. Charlie had a couple of hits. He had 4 trips to the plate against Santa Clara last time out. Even had a stolen base. And has hit safely in all but 12 games this year. And has reached base here. As Bates draws a walk. Trevor Banning started for Santa Clara, pitched just the first inning, allowed a couple of walks, and then got the strikeout, or correction, got the last out, J.J. Moran, and now here's Bates. Sophomore, 6'6", 225, and now has to go from the stretch here with the runner at first. And Bates squaring to bunt, dropping one down nicely. That's Nadai, and the Broncos do not have a play. A perfect bunt for Nadai, and the infield single moves Bates to second. Let's get a look again here. Squaring early, and could not have put it in a better spot with Camden Sauce playing just beyond the bag at third. And so now Stanford with the first 2 batters on here in the second. And Nolan Stoll, the catcher, coming to the plate. This one just outside. Stoll, freshman from Stevenson's Ranch, California. Had a single, drove in the only run for Stanford, the last meeting between these 2 schools. Haberman having trouble finding the strike zone here in the second. Stoll did not play Saturday or Sunday in the series against Miami. Did play on Friday. at the very least, looking to advance the runners here. Bates at second, Nadi at first. Haberman throws just off the corner. Cohen Karsten, the Bronco catcher, tried to bring that one in. So maybe home plate umpire Ruben Candelaria could get a better look had it been in the strike zone. But now we'll see if Stoll's swinging here. Takes that one on the outside corner. Broncos pinched in up the middle with Cunningham and Filter at short and second. And Haberman throws. This one's grounded through the hole and into right field. A base hit. Rounding third, well, it's holding up at third is Bates as Santa Clara gets it quickly back into the infield. Matthew Tiendas in right field with a good play on the ball to get it back into second base. So 2 walks, a walk, an infield single on a bunt, and a roller through the hole to right field. And now Stanford has them loaded for the number 9 hitter, Brock Sell. Sell, a freshman from Stockton. And takes one at the knees for a strike. Coming off a pretty good game Sunday. First career home run, 3 for 4, 3 driven in against Miami. And can do some damage here in the second inning. Bases full of Cardinal. Count even. Top of the order, Court McDonald waiting on deck. Bates at third. Nadi at second. Stoll at first. Just missed. Santa Clara prepared to give up a run to get the double play here. Cunningham shading the bag at second, and Haberman throws. They'll throw down to third, and a slap tag on the diving Bates by Camden Sauce. And the call is safe at third. Problem for Haberman, though, is it's now 3-1. He's got to come into the zone here. This one's taken low and inside for ball 4. And coming in to score with the first run of the game is Bates. Runners move up. And Sell on with a walk and an RBI. And Stanford has the 1-0 lead here in the second. So the Cardinal poised for a big inning here. A team that has struggled offensively in ACC play, although they do have power. And this one is lifted foul down the left field line, giving chase for Santa Clara is Hunter Fujimoto, but that one lands over by the Stanford bullpen just beyond the dugout. 9th in the conference in runs scored. Correction. 13th in runs scored for Stanford in the ACC. They've got 3 on base and nobody out. Haberman gets McDonald to swing through an off-speed pitch. No doubt Haberman pitching for the strikeout here. Second baseman Eric Gian is on deck. This one's hit well to center field. Back on the ball, Devine. It's back at the track. Reaches up, makes the catch, and then crashes into the fence. Nadi tagged up, and he scores. Also going to score is Stoll from second. And the Cardinal get a 2-run sacrifice fly. And now lead it 3-0. That one was popped well to center. And a real strong effort out there by Luke Devine to make the grab just a couple of steps shy of one of the deepest parts of the ballpark, just a few feet away. In fact, it was dead center. And makes the catch. There goes the runner. Throw down to second on a hop and sliding in safely with a stolen base is Sell out there at second. Nadi scored, Stoll scored, and now Brock Sell has swiped a bag here. Now 3 for 3 on stolen bases this year, as the Cardinal trying to add here. Just the one out. And Eric Gian ahead in the count 1-0. There goes the runner to third. Line drive right at the third baseman. And Camden Sauce snags it and then tags out Brock Sell, who was dead to rights. He would have likely stolen the base. But a little bit of bad luck for the Cardinal. They do score 3. And after an inning and a half here at Santa Clara, as you get another look at the hot shot down to third and then tagging out the runner, it's the Cardinal 3 and Santa Clara nothing. We'll be back with the bottom of the second after this on ESPN+. We invite you to join us 6 o'clock on April 24th, just a couple of days away, when the Broncos host conference rival Portland. That'll be right here on ESPN Plus as the Pilots in town for a weekend series. 3 runs in the top of the second for the Stanford Cardinal. And surely some of those Bronco fans making sure they have their tickets or taking some pictures. As Santa Clara will have the numbers 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the lineup. Viskovich, Tiendas, and Sauce. Camden Sauce made that nice play at third to end the second inning. And Kettleson still out there for the Cardinal. And Brock Kettleson delivers out of the zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Viskovich, the DH. Moscatos here in the South Bay. At Valley Christian, we've got Santa Clara players from Mountain View and Palo Alto swinging through that offering from Kettleson. Behind in the count 1-2. Viskovich went to Lee High School and started his collegiate career at San Diego, as Kettleson throws 1-2 and bounces that one right in front of the plate. Cardinal, couple of hits, couple of walks, 3 runs in the second. 2-2. Just out of the zone. We do not expect to see Kettleson more than a couple, maybe a few innings at the most, as oftentimes you get to midweek baseball at the college level and you will see a number of pitchers for both teams. That one's taken low and outside, and the Broncos start off the home half of the second inning with a walk. Matthew Tiendas, the right fielder, will come up. Tiendas, also from the South Bay, played his high school baseball at Wilcox. Santa Clara has the runner at first in Viskovich, being held on over there, and there's a toss over. Viskovich has not attempted to steal a bag this year, as Kettleson comes to the plate. Just missing. Broncos about middle of the pack in stolen bases in the West Coast Conference. There goes the runner. Throw down to second. The slide, and safe at second. Good jump from Viskovich. And a pretty darn good throw from Nolan Stoll behind the plate for the Cardinal, but the stolen base for Viskovich, I believe, is his first of the year. Just got his hand in there. And I think the check was to see if he had come off the bag, but he did not. As Tiendas now with an opportunity to try to bring in the runner, lifts one to left field. Tokheim a beat on it. And Tiendas is retired. Unable to move the runner over. Looked like he got pretty good contact. And Camden Sauce, who made the play at third to end the second on the line drive off the bat of Eric Gian. And it just so happened that Broxell was running on the pitch to steal third, so all Sauce had to do was backhand the line drive and tag the runner to get the double play. Broncos have had base runners in these first couple of innings by way of the walk. Fujimoto walked in the first inning. Viskovich led off this inning with a walk. This one's fouled off to the right, but are still looking for their first hit. And that's something that carried into the seventh inning when Stanford hosted Santa Clara last week. Broncos were hitless into the seventh. Look back at second. Kettleson comes home. Good look at pitch. Check swing. And Candelaria says, you went around, Camden Sauce. Viskovich, short lead at second. That one got in on the hands, and Sauce able to fight it off. Sauce has driven in 5 this year, trying to put this one into play, but goes fishing after one down below the knees. Nice pitch from Kettleson. And that is his second strikeout. See this one diving right as it gets up to the plate. And even if Sauce makes contact, that's going to be likely a roller to the left side. So now the runner remains at second. Viskovich and Kai Cunningham, the shortstop. Lefty against lefty. Cunningham just his 7th at bat of the season. Has a couple of walks, a double. Base hit here could bring in a run for the Cardinal. It's quickly ahead in the count. See if he challenges Cunningham here. This one's popped into left field. Tokheim back on it, has a beat on it, and will put it away for the final out of the second inning. Broncos get a base runner and leave the base runner on the Viskovich walk. We've completed 2 here in the South Bay. Stanford 3, Santa Clara nothing. Bronco baseball will be back after this on ESPN+. Tonight's Santa Clara Stanford baseball game is brought to you by DevCon Construction. They're building the future of Santa Clara athletics. And by Lux Bus America, covering more ground in more places. Third inning, top of the third we go. And Santa Clara has a third pitcher for the Bronco boys. It is senior left-hander Henry Stewart. 3-year member of the program, emerged as an efficient lefty reliever as a junior last year. And will come on here to face the power of the Stanford lineup, Sasaki, Tokheim, and Moran. So it is Henry Stewart facing Sasaki, who walked his first time up. Lefty against lefty. Like a slider there from Stewart. Sasaki with the 12 home runs this year for Stanford. They're going to overshift and pull 3 infielders to the right of second base, and a ball up around the shoulders. Sasaki offered at it and is now behind in the count 0-2. Stewart delivers 0-2 and a little bit outside, trying to see if they could get Sasaki chasing. Only the 4th outing of the season for Stewart, and throws. This one's hit well to right field and deep. Back on the ball is Tiendez, looking up, and it's off the light pole. Sasaki took that 2-strike pitch and spun on it. Sends it over the wall and right, his 13th of the season, and the Cardinal now lead it 4-0. Just like a pivot in that left-handed batter's box, and that bat speed on the connection, delivering the round tripper. Teddy Tokheim, the batter, and Stewart throws. Goes off speed out of the zone. Get another look at the Sasaki home run. Watch him spin on it right there. And Tiendez, if that ball was not going to get over the fence, he was going to likely be right on it. But it hit the bottom of that light standard in between that right field fence and the apartment building beyond it. Tokheim walked his first time up and is ahead in the count, 2-1. Stanford continues over the last now 29 games to really show the power. 27 of their last 29 games they have homered. Stewart, the senior, throws 2-2. Lifted foul outside of first. That one's going to get on top of the dugout. Three runs in the second for Stanford. That's been one of their usual strong innings, as that one's on the outside corner, and Candelaria makes the call for strike 3, and Tokheim turned and looked at him with an open mouth and wide eyes as the strikeout. You get a look here. Stewart. Now, if this were Major League Baseball, I would no doubt Tokheim would have tapped the top of his helmet there, as looked to be just off the plate. So Stewart with the strikeout. One away for J.J. Moran, the third baseman. Flew out to right field his first time up. Charlie Bates on deck. Home plate umpire Candelaria points at Moran, and I believe that was a a clock violation. I don't believe Moran had made eye contact out with the mound. That one's on the outside corner for a strike. You'll see some of these players, and Moran, you can see him kind of doing it from our vantage point behind home plate and up a level. We're just above that Santa Clara baseball sign at the top of your screen. There you saw it just briefly looking back at the clock. Here's 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So after giving up the home run to Sasaki, the strikeout of Tokheim looking and then swinging to set down Moran, and with 2 away, that'll bring up Charlie Bates. That one right at the waist. So with 2 down and nobody on, Bates, who walked, had scored a run. In fact, scored the first run of this game in the second inning. Stanford outscoring opponents in the second inning now 39-23 this year. Batting average in the second over 300, 6 home runs, and on-base percentage right around 420. Here's the 0-2. Stewart will have to wait now. Looking to strike out the side after giving up the home run to right field to Sasaki to lead off the top of the third. Hoping to have Bates fishing on a pitch low and away. Stewart last threw on March the 18th against Connecticut. That one's taken low. Has pitched 3 innings this year. Heading into this game. Full count. And Bates was waiting on the inside corner for that one from Stewart. So Henry will try and put down Charlie Bates here. Lifted foul outside of third, giving chase over there is Sauce. Sauce calling off his shortstop and his left fielder, Fujimoto, to make the catch in foul territory. And the Cardinal are done here in the third, but a leadoff home run from Sasaki. And as we go to the bottom of the third here at Stephen Schott Stadium, Stanford 4, Santa Clara nothing on the ESPN Plus. Nine, 1-2 in the order for Santa Clara here at the bottom of the third. Stanford with 3 runs in the second inning, and then the Sasaki home run to lead off the third. So Santa Clara will have Cohen Karsten, the catcher. And then they'll turn the lineup over for Russ Filter and Hunter Fujimoto. Broncos over 500 at home and just 2-14 away from Schott Stadium. Right-handed hitting Karsten to take on Kettleson. And hits it well to right field. Immediately back on the ball is Sell, and he's on the track making the catch. Had it all the way. One pitch, one out here in the third. And Russ Filter's coming up. Santa Clara playing tonight at home, and then we'll have a 3-game series against Portland, the 24th through the 26th. Games at 6 o'clock on Friday, 1 o'clock Saturday, and noon on Sunday. We'll have all those for you right here on ESPN Plus. As Filter, who struck out to lead off the game for Santa Clara, comes up for his second at-bat tonight. And then the Broncos are out on the road. Cal Poly, non-conference to end the month of April. Kettleson throws right in there for a strike. And then up in Spokane to start May. In fact, the Broncos will play 6 of the first 7 on the road in May. Swing and a miss from Filter. Looks like Kettleson starting to feel a little rhythm out there for Stanford. 3 at Gonzaga. Cal Poly back here on May 5th. And then the 8th, 9th, and 10th up at Seattle to take on the Red Hawks. Caught on the fly. Yes, indeed, a nice play from Bates. Wasn't sure whether he was going to play that on the short hop, but then I think he just said, heck, I'm going to go for it. And Bates on what is a line out to short retires Filter. That one lined out to short. He could have taken a step back, but you see him diving forward and making a nice play there. So with 2 outs, this one is hit into left center field. A long run for McDonald. It's over his head, and 2 hops the wall. Fujimoto picks up his third base coach as he cruises into second with the Broncos' first hit of the game, a 2-out double. And the Broncos have a runner in scoring position after the Fujimoto double, and it'll bring up Luke Devine. Fujimoto, who was hitting .235 and has his first double of the year. Got a pitch right out over the plate. And that ball was kind of slicing away from McDonald in center. Looked like he got a good jump on it, but it was hit well. And so Devine, who is 0 for 1, will take the first one for a strike. A line out his first time up. Waylon Walsh on deck. Kettleson checks the runner. And a check swing on a ball down low. I'll check over at first base. Bill Shortridge says no. And Devine will take that one in there for a strike, even though Stoll couldn't hold on to it. So we'll see what Kettleson does here. If he's going to try and get Devine to fish for one out of the zone, or if he will go right after him. Fujimoto short lead at second. Kettleson, this one's hit right to first. And to his right, down to a knee. Sasaki snares it. So 2 lineouts for Luke Devine. Little snake bit for the Broncos center fielder. Santa Clara gets their first hit of the game, a 2-out double, but will strand the runner at second through 3 at Schott Stadium. Stanford 4, Santa Clara nothing on ESPN Plus. As we go to the 4th, tonight's game is brought to you by One Workplace, creating spaces that inspire and transform the way you work. And by Rabbit Office Automation, providing technology for your business. It started with Banning, then Haberman, then Stewart, and now for the 4th pitcher in 4 innings for Santa Clara, we see the right-hander from Santa Rosa's Cardinal Newman High School, the 6'2" junior, Jack Lazark. Lazark making his 8th appearance. He pitched against Stanford last week, went an inning and a third, walked a batter, struck out a batter, and faced 5 hitters. And he'll get the bottom third of the order. The DH, Jimmy Nadai, the catcher, Nolan Stoll, and then the right fielder, Brock Sell. 4 runs, 3 hits for Stanford. No runs and a hit for Santa Clara. This one, nice backhanded third by Sauce, and he'll loft it across the diamond. And there is 1 away after 1 pitch. Sauce has been called on to make a couple of plays over there at third. Double play to end the second on a line out, then tagging the runner, trying to steal third. Single, run scored for the catcher, Nolan Stoll, as Lazark throws in there for a strike. Stoll scored the 3rd run of the 2nd inning. And takes that one right down the middle for strike 2. Infield back, outfield shaded around to the right. Breaking ball, and just making contact. That one lifted foul outside of third. Lazark, usually about an inning, maybe a 4-out, 5-out pitcher so far this year. Went an inning and a third against Stanford, an inning against San Jose State before that back on March 24th. Well out of the zone, tried to see if he could get Stoll fishing for one. Swing and a miss as Stoll couldn't catch up with a fastball. And with 2 quick outs, the number 9 hitter and Brock Sell. Another look. Maybe just a little bit off the corner of the plate, but still, with 2 strikes, Stoll had to offer at it. Walk for Sell this first time up. That was in the 2nd inning. Another look there at Sell was looking back at that pitching clock. That one at the knees. Top of the order, Court McDonald, the center fielder, on deck here in the 4th. And that was a strike. And now ahead in the count, 1-2. We talked about the upcoming schedule for Santa Clara. We'll see if there's time to talk briefly about it here. Count goes to 2-2. While the Broncos will be home this upcoming weekend against Portland, Florida State, number 8 in the country, will be at Sunken Diamond on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2:05, 6:05, 2:05, and 1:05. Those 3 broadcasts. 2-2. Just out of the zone. And the count is full. And then after a April 27th Monday affair against UC Davis at home, the Cardinal will start May on the road with 3 at Notre Dame before playing 5 of the final 8 at Sunken Diamond to close out the schedule. Sell staying alive. Lazark trying to go 1-2-3 and outside. A lot of gear for Sell to get rid of. And Court McDonald, who popped out to start the game, and then hit a long ball to center field with runners at second and third back in the second inning, where Santa Clara's Luke Devine caught it on a pretty good run. There goes the runner. Throw it out to second. The tag, and he got him. Cohen Karsten threw a strike down to second, and not sure if Sell came off the bag or not, but the caught stealing goes 2-6 to end the fourth for the Cardinal. We'll go to the bottom half of the fourth inning, and Stanford with the 4-0 lead on ESPN+. Today's Santa Clara Stanford baseball game is brought to you in part by West Coast Sports Institute, where medicine meets rehab. Brock Kettleson's night is done. He pitches a pretty strong 3 innings for the Cardinal, and they'll bring on a right-hander in the freshman, Colt Peterson. Getting an opportunity to throw in this one. And so with a 4-0 lead, Stanford will face Waylon Walsh, Bryant Viskovich, and Matthew Tiendas. The middle part of the Santa Clara lineup, 4, 5, and 6. And so Peterson getting ready to take on a left-handed hitter. And Walsh, who struck out 2-3 back in the first inning, giving him a lot of space on that right side of the infield. Playing deep. This one is hit into center field. That one's going to get down for a base hit. Waylon Walsh has the Broncos' second hit of the evening, and it comes by way of a leadoff single against Colt Peterson. And Bryant Viskovich now, as you look at the numbers for Colt Peterson. And Peterson throwing from the stretch here with a runner at first. Sasaki holding the runner on. And it's taken outside for a ball. Viskovich walked, made it as far as second. Leading off the second inning, Broncos' next 3 batters made out. So, though they had the runner in scoring position, never really threatened. This one's hit up the middle. That's going to roll past the bag at second and into center field. Played out there by McDonald. And the Broncos have back-to-back hits to start the fourth. And Matthew Tiendas, who flew out to left his first time up. It's a good idea to hit it where it's pitched. And you'll hear a lot of batters at high school level and above talk about not worrying about pulling a ball or just try and take it up the middle. And Santa Clara has done that to start the fourth against Peterson. And we'll see what Santa Clara can do here. Threatening, and this one's rolled to the right side. Will they get the out at second? They go to second, and they force the runner, Viskovich. A nice play by Gian to range to his left and then spin back and get the ball to Bates for the force out. Going over to the third is Walsh, and now on by way of the fielder's choice is Tiendas. Camden Sauce struck out in the second. Bates and Gian will shade the bag at second. Actually, it's Gian really almost directly behind the bag at second. You see him enter your screen there. Peterson throws, and Camden Sauce swinging through and offering. Three runs for the Cardinal in the second, and a run in the third. And very quickly, Sauce behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. At this point, Stanford really playing the shift, really, with 3 infielders to the left of the bag at second. Peterson throws and going way out of the zone. To see if Sauce would offer. Walsh at third, Tiendas at first. And Sauce just trying to put it in play here. This one's to the right of short. Bates will go to second for the force. And that's all they'll get. Coming in to score is Walsh. And the Broncos are on the board. It's now 4-1 Stanford. The put out 6-4. Forcing out Tiendas at second. And so now Sauce on at first. And Cunningham the batter. Cunningham flew out to left fielder Teddy Tokheim his last time up. Swing and a miss. Big cut. Cunningham nodding his head. Short lead for Sauce. Sasaki holding him on there. Sauce 2 for 2 this year on stolen bases. We'll see if he's going with 2 outs. And down at the count 0-1. This one's hit down the right field line. Hit well. It is headed deep, and it is a fair ball into the corner. Here comes Sauce as the throw goes into second. And Sauce will score on the double by Cunningham. And Santa Clara now has scored twice here in the fourth. It's 4-2 Stanford. Sauce was going to score from first. This one's hit down the right field line. You see the dugout. And the excitement is that one, I think, probably one hop the wall just fair. And Sauce with 2 outs was going on contact. And there you see Cunningham as he picks up the RBI. Number 9 hitter, Karsten, who flew out to right field his last time up. Broncos have pushed a couple across here in the 4th inning. It's Cunningham. Leads at second. Called strike. Karsten has thrown out a runner in this game. Now we see if he could drive in a runner with Cunningham at second. This one is off the fist to third, bobbled at third, and the throw to first is in time as Karsten couldn't quite get to the bag first as the putout goes 5-3. But the Broncos come up with a couple of runs on 3 hits and a runner left. We'll go to the 5th. Stanford 4, Santa Clara 2 on ESPN+. Top of the 5th inning. Santa Clara with a couple of runs now trailing Stanford 4-2. We have a new pitcher. We'll tell you about him in just a second. You look at the West Coast Conference standings presented by Lenardi's Markets. Santa Clara has an upcoming series in Spokane. The Bulldogs with a 2-game lead over USF. Santa Clara will also take on Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, and Portland coming up this upcoming weekend here in the Bay Area. So an upcoming schedule for head coach Rusty Filter that is not for the faint of heart. Broncos trying to finish this final 3+ weeks strong, and took a step toward that by getting a couple of runs pushed across the plate. The new pitcher is 6'3", 230-pound redshirt senior Sebastian Schreiber from Salinas. 2-year member of the Bronco pitching staff. Joined the program in 24 as a junior college transfer. And he'll start with the top of the order at Court McDonald. McDonald, Gian, and Sasaki, as the Broncos picked up 2 runs on 3 hits in the 4th inning. Schreiber ahead in the count. This one is pushed back over the mound, over second base, and out into center field for a leadoff single, as McDonald had popped out his first time up. And we'll bring up Eric Gian. Schreiber started his collegiate career at USF and redshirted his true freshman season due to injury, and then went on to Hartnell College, where he was a part of the starting rotation for the Panthers. Gian flew to left field and then lined into a double play to end the second. McDonald at first, Schreiber throws. Taken low. McDonald, 4 attempts, 2 stolen bases. Held on over there by Walsh. This one's fouled right back into the screen. Just missing it. We're anticipating a sunset here any moment, as now just parts of that left field fence and the scoreboard in center field still in the sunshine. McDonald. Schreiber throws over. Schreiber's last outing, he pitched an inning against Stanford in the Bronco victory, gave up a hit and struck out a batter. He faced 4 and threw 9 pitches. Quick toss. Everything's good, according to Bill Shortridge. McDonald, moments ago, with a single into center field to start this inning. The big bat of Sasaki on deck. Big swing and a miss at a ball a little bit high, and Gian, you see him shaking his head there, and now looking down at third and nodding as third base coach. Schreiber checks the runner, comes home. That one got in on the hands of Gian. In the series against Miami, 4 hits, 3 walks for Gian. Started his career at Columbia. Runner doesn't go. Check swing. Check down to first. No swing, says Bill Shortridge. Cohen Karsten wanted to tag the runner and get an idea from home plate umpire Ruben Candelaria if that was a called swing. Full count, pitch to the plate, popped up, shallow right field, coming over his filter. The right fielder calling him off is Tiendas. And that is how you communicate in a tough play. It'll go as a fly out to right field. Russ Filter was going full speed after that ball, and what they tell those infielders is you keep going for it until you hear your outfielder call for it. So with one out, that'll bring up Sasaki, who homered his last time up, his 13th of the year. Lead off the third inning. And right now, Schreiber really just trying to keep McDonald as close as he can to that bag. If they can get a ground ball. The third baseman, Camden Sauce, is playing about 5 feet to the left of the second base bag. And Schreiber just off the outside corner. There you see Sauce. He's the third baseman, playing where a shortstop would normally play. The overshift. Infield on the right side of the bag at second. And that one is outside. You saw Sasaki shake his head no at it. In the event Ruben Candelaria, the home plate umpire, needed any help. So we'll know here if Santa Clara is willing to pitch around Sasaki with a 2-0 count and a runner at first. Outside. And I don't be pitching around by saying they're going to just give him 4 and send him to first. See if they can get him to go after some pitches slightly off the corner. That one's inside for ball 4. McDonald down to second. Sasaki reaches for the third time. Second by way of the walk. And Teddy Tokheim, the left fielder, coming up. He has a walk and a strikeout looking at 2 trips. Moran on deck. Schreiber off speed. They get out in front. Four runs, 4 hits for Stanford. 2 runs, 4 hits for Santa Clara. Inside. Schreiber has just given up the 1 run, an earned run, as this one's hit into center field. Immediately back and a little bit to his left, Devine makes the play. Tagging and heading over to third is McDonald. And Tokheim flies to center for the second out. So Moran, who has flown out and struck out, will get his first look at Schreiber. This is the 5th Bronco pitcher. Started with Banning, then Haberman, then Stewart. Nice breaking ball, just missing. Jack Lazark pitched the 4th inning. And now Schreiber here in the 5th. Walsh holding the runner on at first, and Sasaki. Here comes the pitch to the plate, and bounced that one well out in front. Schreiber gets that ball back, rubs it up just a little bit. 2 balls, no strikes. McDonald at third by way of a leadoff single. Sasaki walked. Taken high, 3-0. Will they give Moran the green light here? Popped up foul. The green light was given. .277 batting average, 6 home runs for Moran. He's got some power. Schreiber throws, swung on and missed. In fact, foul tipped into the glove of Cohen Karsten. Just a little bit off the plate. Full count, runner will be going for first. That is Sasaki. There he goes, fouled back. Moran looking back at that pitch clock. Runners take their leads. This one's hit to center field. Shallow coming in for it is Devine, and he's under to make the catch. So Schreiber gets out of the jam. And the Cardinal will strand 2 here in the 5th inning. We'll go to the home half. Stanford 4, Santa Clara 2, back to Schott Stadium on the Mission campus after this timeout on ESPN+. A new pitcher for Stanford with a 4-2 Cardinal lead going to the bottom of the 5th inning. And as you might have guessed by now, he's a lefty. And it is Sam Garwal. 6'5", 240 senior from San Diego. Started his career at Northwestern. Played 1 season before transferring to play for the Cardinal. There you see his numbers. Was all Big Ten freshman. He threw 49 innings with 48 strikeouts for Northwestern. Missed his sophomore season due to an injury. And last year, 26 in the 3rd innings, 36 strikeouts, and had a 1-1 mark in ACC play. And he'll get the top of the order for Santa Clara here in the 5th. Filter, Fujimoto, and Devine. So the Broncos have used 5 pitchers, and now Stanford on pitcher number 3. Started with Kettleson, then Peterson, and a good looking pitch. That one almost tailing away a little bit from a right-handed batter for Garwal. Filter struck out, lined out, 0 for 2. Out in front of that one a little bit, and quickly down in the hole. Swing and a miss on a fastball that Garwal blew past Russ Filter. And Hunter Fujimoto, who doubled back in the 3rd inning. He's been on base both times tonight. Garwal pitched in the series against Miami, went 3 innings, gave up a couple of hits. This one off the fist, back at 3rd, calling for it is the shortstop Bates. And he's there to make the grab. And 2 quick outs. We'll bring up Luke Devine, the center fielder. And in fact, Garwal pitched against the Broncos, win an inning in that 2-1 Santa Clara victory last week. Struck out a batter, faced the minimum 3, and got a couple of ground outs. So he's got the first two batters in the Bronco half of the fifth. And Luke Devine, who lined out to end the third, will have an opportunity here against the lefty Garwal. This one's hit foul down the right field line. One's going to get up, well, not quite the netting, but just beyond the dugout toward the bullpen. Waylon Walsh on deck. Broncos got their 2 runs in the fourth. Back-to-back hits to lead off the fourth inning for Walsh and Viskovich. Fielder's choice brought in a run. Double by Kai Cunningham brought in a run. This one's rolled to short, charging it as Bates, throws on the run, and a nice grab over there by Sasaki as the Broncos down 1-2-3 in the fifth. We'll go to the sixth. Stanford 4, Santa Clara 2 on ESPN+. You might have seen this coming if you've been watching this one as we look at the Cardinal upcoming schedule. 3 with Florida State, and then UC Davis coming up as we get closer to closing out the month of April. Broncos have had a new pitcher in each inning, and the top of the sixth is no different. 6'5", 215-pound right-hander, a freshman, Nick Chow from the Bay Area up in Redwood City to St. Francis High School. We see quite a few players on both of these squads from the West Catholic Athletic League. So Chow will face Bates to lead it off, followed by Nadai and Stoll, barring any pinch hitters. 4-2 Stanford. They scored 3 runs in the second inning, and then a Rentaro Sasaki leadoff solo homer in the third. Charlie Bates, the shortstop, will get things started as Chow delivers his first pitch, and first pitch swinging. Bates will foul it off to the left. Bates came into the game with an average of .271, 8 home runs, a sophomore from Palo Alto. Chow delivers. Count even. Just missing. And now Chow behind Bates. Here's 2-1. Grounded to short. Fielded over there. Nicely done by Cunningham. 6-3 on the putout. 1 away. Banning started. Haberman, Stewart. As you see some of the numbers for Chow. Lazark, Schreiber, and now Chow. And his pitch to Nadai, just outside of the zone. Jimmy, the DH, laid down a really nice bunt in the second inning, part of that rally. First 4 batters reached. This one is hit into the gap. That one's going to get down. Coming over for it is Devine. Plays it on the 1-hop and quickly back into the infield. Good job of hitting by Nadai, and a good job of playing center field by Devine to get over. That is the 5th hit for the Cardinal. Chow wants to do baseball. And Nadai over at first. He is 1 for 4. 1 steal and 4 attempts. And Nolan Stoll, who singled and scored a run in that second inning. We'll see what he can do now with one out. Chow delivers that one fouled off to the right. Here early in his outing, having just started the sixth inning, Chow's getting that ball up a little bit. Of course, Santa Clara would love the double play here, but if the ball is up in the zone, that could be trouble. That one right at the knees as Chow brings that one down. Sell, the number 9 hitter, on deck. Things cooling off here in the South Bay. 63 degrees at first pitch. Runner doesn't go. This one's bounced off home plate. Going to be a tough play. Cunningham throws and gets him. Cunningham did get a good jump as that one looked like it hit right off the plate. There was no way they were going to get Nat-Eye at second. And it did. Hit right off of home plate, high into the air, and Cunningham, who plays different spots on the infield, saw him play second base earlier this year, making a nice play there at shortstop. Nat-Eye at second, Sell at the plate. And Chow pours one, a little bit low. Brock Sell has walked twice. Chow throws, and that one's in there for a strike. .59 degrees. Not much of a breeze here. Turn, pick-off play at second. Nat-Eye getting back. Those are typically, you count after you make contact or see the signal from the shortstop or the catcher, and you'll count 1, 1,002, 1,003, then spin, and either the second baseman or the shortstop will be at the bag. Look back at second, Chow will throw. And now Sell, who was at the plate, and his walk in the second inning brought home Charlie Bates with the first run of the game. Is ahead in the count, 2-1. And that one misses. Top of the order, Court McDonald on deck. 2 outs here in the 6th. Outfield straightaway. Big swing from Sell. Couldn't quite catch up with that fastball, and you almost wonder, now will Chow go right back to it? And will Sell be looking for it? Runner at second is Nat-Eye. He's singled. And Chow trying to finish the inning, but ends up walking Sell. And Sell has walked 3 times in this game. He's fine with it. So the Broncos will have the force now at second or third. And Court McDonald, who popped out, hit a long fly ball to center that was caught by Devine with runners at second and third. In that second inning, both runners scored as Devine ended up falling just in front of the wall. Nick Chow ahead in the count. And then McDonald singled and made it as far as third in the 5th inning. And then the Broncos got out of it. with a pop-up in shallow left field. McDonald waiting. Check of the runner. Off the fist. Nice pitch from Chow to get in on the hands. McDonald in agreement with his third base coach. Hitting .361 for the season. Chow throws off the plate. Has a couple of home runs this year, does McDonald. Right now he'd settle for a base hit. 2-2. Swing and a miss. A little bit off balance. That was all arms. And Court McDonald strikes out swinging, and Nick Chow gets out of trouble. We'll go to the home half of the sixth at Stephen Schott Stadium. Stanford 4, Santa Clara 2 on ESPN+. Sam Garwal out for his second inning of work here for the Stanford Cardinal. Leading this one 4-2 as the Broncos bat in the bottom of the sixth. There you see the upcoming schedule. Santa Clara will be home. And if you want to get a chance to see this edition, this 2026 edition of the Broncos, come on out and see them. Home to Portland, a team in the top half of the West Coast Conference. This upcoming Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. A couple of day games on Saturday and Sunday. And then the Broncos hit the road. They'll be at Cal Poly. Those guys will be there. And right now, Santa Clara, after trailing 4-0, picked up a couple of runs in the fourth. And now we'll send the numbers 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the order. Waylon Walsh singled and scored in the fourth. And in fact, it was him starting off the fourth. And he'll face the lefty, Garwal. And Walsh off the fists, fouling it right at home plate. As a batter, that's where you immediately look to see and make sure that ball is not leaking out in front of the plate, because you may not get 3 steps out of the batter's box and they'll throw down to first and you're done. You wait 8 batters to get a plate appearance. Garwal throws, and just a hard fastball in there for a strike. 0-2. Fielder's choice brought home Walsh in that 2-run fourth. And then Kai Cunningham, who hits out of the 8-hole, hit a double to drive in Camden Sauce. We'll see if the Broncos can replicate that and pull even here in the 6th inning. Waylon Walsh swinging at that one with 2 strikes. Viskovich on deck. This has been the productive part of the lineup for Santa Clara. And we'll see if Walsh can get things started. And a slider in there for strike 3. Looked like a breaking pitch. And it definitely wasn't what Waylon Walsh was looking for. And so Garwal sets down the leadoff batter, and Viskovich makes his way to the plate. Walk in the second, singled in the fourth. And that was cut down on a fielder's choice. Lights come on here at Schott Stadium. Big swing at Viskovich. A little bit late on it. Garwal keeps the walks down. Good strikeout pitcher. 21 innings, 27 strikeouts, only 8 walks. He's got a couple of strikeouts in his inning and a third so far. Another good breaking ball. With a fastball as good as it is, you almost have no chance with the breaking ball. This is only Viscovich's 12th at bat of the season. Taken away. Count even. Tiendes on deck. Broncos looking for base runners here. Just got his bat on that one. Broncos struggled to get hits last week at Sunken Diamond. Still found a way to get a victory, 2-1. In fact, Santa Clara only had 2 hits in that game. They have 4 here today. And late on the fastball. That's the 3rd strikeout for Garwal. And Tiendes, the right fielder, looking for his first hit. Garwal has been impressive. First pitch swinging. Tiendes thought, or was thinking, I'm probably going to get a good one to hit here. Moran at third base, playing well off the bag. 0-1. Just outside. One delivery. This one's sinking liner. In fact, it's not only sinking, but it's out into the gap into right center field. Tiendes hits the bag at second. He's turning and heading for third. The relay's going to be late. A triple for Matthew Tiendes with 2 outs. And the Broncos are in business with a runner at third here in the 6th. His teammates trying to get his attention. There it is. It looked like it was sinking, but it was getting in between the outfielders and found the track, and Tiendes motoring around second into third, and maybe that flop was a little bit too hard. And his teammates saying, we've discussed this. Show us some love. Now a meeting at the mound. And Garwal, who was kind of breezing, set the Broncos down in order in the 5th. And then 2 strikeouts to start the 6th before Tiendes' triple. And home plate umpire Ruben Candelaria. And that's got to be frustrating for the home plate umpire. Because you know, right when your feet hit the dirt on the front of the mound, that's when the party's going to break up. And so Santa Clara now with a runner at third. And Camden Sauce The third baseman fouled back. First pitch swinging. So Santa Clara clearly feeling they're going to see something in the zone that first pitch from Garwal. Base hit. Cuts the deficit in half. Garwal throws. Swinging late on the fastball. And quickly behind in the count 0-2. Sauce just trying to put it in play here. And he watches one right down the middle for strike three. So 3 strikeouts for Garwal, and he gave up a triple in there, but no harm. As the Broncos do not score in the 6th, 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 7th. Stanford 4, Santa Clara 2 on ESPN+. The West Coast Conference Baseball Tournament hits Scottsdale, Arizona at Scottsdale Stadium, May 20th through the 23rd. Make sure you don't miss the 4 days of championship baseball. Get your tickets now at WCCSports.com. And if you're a baseball fan and you have the time and the means, get down there and enjoy some college baseball. And a little bit of a preview of who might be playing in the NCAA tournament. We're just, about a month away from the West Coast Conference tournament. Nick Chow will face 2, 3, and 4 of the Stanford order. Eric Gian looking for his first hit as Chow kicks and throws right down the middle for a strike. So this is the first inning that Santa Clara hasn't had a new pitcher. Gian, Sasaki, and Tokheim looking to add on to the advantage here in the 7th inning. As Chow pulls that one a little bit, leaves it outside. Stanford has played a lot of close games this year. This one popped up on the infield. Calling for it is the first baseman, Walsh. And he will give way to Filter. Walsh took a couple of steps off the bag at first, calling for it, and then Filter called a little bit more loudly, or louder. And immediately Walsh spun and headed back to first base. Pop out to the second baseman to start the 7th. And Sasaki, who has reached base all 3 times tonight. A pair of walks and a solo shot over the right field wall in the 3rd inning. And Chow throws outside. Sasaki now hitting .273, 13 home runs, 29 driven in. That's second best on the team. Hitters count for Sasaki. So 3-1 now. Last time up, that was Sasaki hitting the home run to right field. Here's the 3-1 pitch, fouled back. That one hit a little salute. That one hit the light standard just to the right of Broncos on the right field wall and to the left of the Nike swoosh. Full count. Tokheim on deck. That one just a little bit low. And another walk. His third of the game for Sasaki. Chow has thrown 23 pitches. Correction, now 29 after the at-bat for Sasaki. Now ready to face his 8th batter in an inning and a third, and it's Tokheim. Walsh holding the runner on at first. Big hole on the right side. Fastball high. We do not have a vantage point of the Broncos bullpen. That's situated just beyond the dugout at clubhouse on the first base side. But one would guess, and there it is. We will have a new pitcher as the signal has been made. And for Santa Clara, it'll be Vincent Braga coming on. We'll take a break and tell you all about Braga as Santa Clara trailing Stanford here in the top of the 7th. More to come right after this on ESPN+. A product out of Palo Alto High School. Was an effective reliever last year in his first year of college baseball. Made 11 appearances, which was tied for 5th on the team. There you see what he's done this year. This will be appearance number 13 for the big right-hander. 6'3", 200-pounder. And his last outing was an inning where he had a couple of strikeouts against Stanford last week. And if you've been listening or watching as well during the broadcast, a lot of the pitchers that we've talked about for Santa Clara pitched in that game. And so Braga throws the first pitch and off the fist and fought off foul down the right field line. Tokheim you see what he's done. Filter and Cunningham a double play position behind Braga, who delivers outside. Pace of this one slowing down just a tad. Sasaki, the runner at first. We do not expect him to go. And this one's hit into center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Sasaki taking the turn at second as it's picked up in the outfield by Devine. And Sasaki ends up at third on the single from Tokheim. Pretty good time for his first hit of the game. And now runners at the corners for J.J. Moran, the third baseman. Good piece of hitting once again. Taking it where it's pitched and going right back up the middle. Devine juggled it a little bit, but even had he picked it up, I don't think they would have had a shot at Sasaki rounding second. First at third. Moran waiting. Swinging at the first pitch. In fact, both sides believing that that best opportunity is the first opportunity. Broncos did it against Sam Garwal last couple of innings. And now Stanford trying to add to their lead here in the 7th. Sasaki at third, Tokheim at first. Braga really unleashing one there. Good fastball from the sophomore. Braga did not pitch in the series in Stockton over the weekend. See if the runner at first goes here, trying to stay out of the double play. Does not go. And Braga behind in the count. Broncos got a double play on a line out in the second inning. Got out of a jam in the 5th and 6th innings. Can they do it again? Little crossfire from Braga. Moran maybe not leaning out of the way, but not in the best position to hit that pitch. Maybe a little bit of a different angle from Braga. 2-2. Tokheim at first. He doesn't go. This one's chopped back to short. Taylor made double play. Cunningham touches the bag and throws to first for the 4-3 double play. So Santa Clara does get out of the jam with their second double play. Could not been hit. Nice big hop into the midsection. And then Cunningham throws the runner out at first. So we'll go to the home half of the 7th. Stanford still with a 4-2 lead here at Schott Stadium on ESPN+. Home half of the 7th, 4-2 Stanford. As we get to know the foe tonight, the visitors at Schott Stadium. You probably know a lot about this school already and some of the famous former athletes. You could call them Tiger. Of course, Katie Ledecky, one of the top swimmers in the world for so long. And Andrew Luck, not only a star player with the Colts in the NFL, but Stanford football, and now the GM. So the Broncos looking to mount a comeback here. Meanwhile, Stanford has brought on Cohen Gomez, 6'3", 225 right-hander. And the first pitch to the Broncos, Kai Cunningham, who doubled and drove in a run his last time up, is out of the zone. You see the numbers for Gomez this year, as that one taken inside. Broncos could use a couple of base runners here. 1 for 2 for Cunningham. The number 9 spot is on deck. And I can tell you right now, it's not Cohen Karsten. We'll check to see who that is as the 2-0 pitch is in the dirt. Mace Wheeler is on deck and will likely pinch hit for Karsten, as I imagine Cunningham was taking there. And Gomez pours it right in there for a strike. Sophomore from Anaheim Hills, made 7 appearances last year out of the bullpen. And another strike. And Cunningham nodding his head. All part of the plan, just to see Santa Clara could get the first runner on here by way of the walk. Gomez, full count pitch. Rolled to first, fielded by Sasaki. Underhand flip to the covering Gomez. And Santa Clara's leadoff man, Cunningham, goes down 3-1. So Wheeler will bat for Karsten. Karsten went 0 for 2. Wheeler, freshman, getting some action here. And this one's grounded out to second. To his right, sliding to the ground. Gian throws to first, too late. Couldn't come up with it cleanly on that sharply hit ball from Wheeler. And I imagine he'll be given a hit there. Tough play for Gian. There you see him getting to that second bag, that orange first base. Max Ross, the batter. And coming into this game, he had started, I believe, every game for Santa Clara. 38 games. Let's do the math. Yes, indeed. But did not start this one. He's coming on as a pinch hitter here. So Ross, the lefty bat, off the bench. The runner at first on the infield single is Wheeler. So tying run at the plate. And a turn and a throw over. Wheeler. Is he a threat to run? He is not. But maybe trying to stay out of double plays. He has not attempted a stolen base first, but maybe a hit and run. Although you need base runners here this late in the game. And now the catcher, Nolan Stoll, will head out to the mound for a quick conversation. How did we get here, you're asking? Stanford 3 runs in the second inning. Leadoff walk for Charlie Bates, the shortstop. A bunt single for Jimmy Nadai, followed by a single from Nolan Stoll to load the bases. Still with nobody out, Brock Sell was able to get out of the at-bat with a walk to drive in a run, and then a line drive to center from the leadoff man, Court McDonald, was hit to center, and Bronco center fielder Luke Devine racing back, made the catch a couple of steps shy of the wall, but did end up slipping or falling, and then while holding on to the ball, 2 runs scored. And so a 3-run second inning, and then a run in the third on the home run from Sasaki. We'll have a new pitcher for Santa Clara, 4-2 Cardinal, here in the 7th inning. We'll be back to tell you all about him on ESPN+. Just so used to Broncos rolling out a new pitcher, but it's Stanford with a new pitcher. Mike Ersbomber, 6-foot freshman, a lefty from San Clemente. And so he will come on here for Gomez and give the Cardinal a lefty. To go against Max Ross, who is pinch hitting for Russ Filter. There's Palmer. 17th appearance. And with the tying run at the plate in Raw, we'll see if Ersbomber can either get a ground ball here or figure out a way to get the Broncos out, as the first pitch off speed. And Max Ross is behind in the count. Couple of home runs for Ross this year. Came in hitting .295. Swinging at a breaking ball, quickly down to the count, 0-2. Mace Wheeler, came on as a defensive replacement in the 6th inning, so he did catch for Cohen Karsten in that 6th inning, and he is on at first. Short lead, check swing, and a ball. That one pretty close. There's Palmer. We've seen a couple of breaking balls from him. Let's see what he has here. 1-2 to Ross. And went with a fastball down low. Santa Clara 2 runs, 6 hits. Wheeler held on by Sasaki. Ernst Palmer comes to the plate. This one's lined into left field. A base hit. Past the diving Moran. And a pinch hit single for Ross here in the 7th. We'll put the tying run on base here with 1 out. Good piece of hitting from Ross. And so Wheeler now at second and Ross over at first. Just took that ball on the outside part of the plate and just kind of flipped it past Moran. Pitch hitter Thomas Ferraggiaro. Senior right-handed bat. With runners at first and second. And Ernst Palmer, the freshman. Behind in the count, Luke Devine on deck. Shading the bag at second, Gian for Stanford. Look back at second. That one in there. That hit for Santa Clara, their 7th of the game. Ferraggiaro waiting. There's Palmer pouring it in there for a strike. And Ferraggiaro kicks at the dirt. Maybe missed an opportunity there. Now, a tough spot for Ferraggiaro, who has started 36 of 37 games coming into play tonight, but coming off the bench. Breaking ball. That one in. Likely started out over the plate to have it breaking down and into the right-handed batter. Wheeler at second, Ross at first. 1 out here in the 7th. Popped into right center field. Coming over is McDonald, and in right center makes the catch, tagging. And heading over to third is Wheeler with a head first slide. And so the Broncos, with the second out, get a runner 90 feet closer. But really, it's that runner over at first base that Santa Clara would like to get into scoring position here with 2 outs and Luke Devine, the batter. So, Ernst Palmer came on after giving up the single to Wheeler. And now with 2 outs, Luke Devine, the batter. And there's the breaking ball in for a strike. Clearly confident with that off-speed pitch. Wheeler at third, Ross at first. Big hole on the right side with Sasaki holding the runner on over there. There's Palmer. This one's rolled into left field, a base hit. Wheeler will come in to score, making the turn at second, and Ross ends up at third, and heady base running for Devine on the RBI single. It's now 4-3 Stanford, and the Broncos have the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second with 2 outs in the 7th. This pulled at just to the left of Moran. There you see Wheeler crossing home plate, turning to see if he had any company. Johnny Lutzo. The Broncos' top hitter by batting average, 384. And we'll see if we'll have a new pitcher here for Stanford. This inning started on a ground out by Kai Cunningham. Mace Wheeler getting his first at bat for the game. Got things started with a single. We'll tell you more about how this inning progressed as Stanford will have a new pitcher. We'll take a break and come back to the bottom of the 7th. Broncos threatening on ESPN+. Santa Clara has a run here in the 7th, and with runners at second and third and 2 outs, Stanford will bring on a right-hander, and it is Trevor Moore, 6'1", 220-pound senior from Golden, Colorado. Making his 17th appearance. His numbers so far. Did pitch over the weekend as the Miami Hurricanes were in town. Pitched on Saturday, pitched just an inning, and 2 innings on Sunday. And now he's being called on here to get the final out and keep those 2 runners in scoring position at third and second from crossing home plate. Devine is at second, Ross is at third, and Johnny Lutzow is the pinch hitter. First delivery. And the plan continues, swinging at that first pitch. Lutzow missed some time due to injury this year, but when he has been out there, he has been fantastic. Pitch to the plate, outside. Nolan Stoll pointing out at Trevor Moore. Good idea, good pitch. There is some room on the right side of the infield as Moore delivers, and a full cut, fouled back. And immediately Lutzow taps his chest and looks over at the dugout. That was me. Probably shouldn't have offered it that one. Behind in the count. Here's the pitch. Fouled off to the right. Now Lutzow's job is to figure out a way to put the ball in play. Moore, 2.36 ERA, 26 innings, 33 strikeouts. Would settle for any type of out here as the runners lead. Moore delivers. This one's rolled slowly to short. Charging it is Bates. Throws in the dirt, and he gets him. Good dig from Sasaki. And is it something Santa Clara wants to look at? They do not. Although the Cardinal remain out on the field. And the trio of Candelaria, Shortridge, and Rodriguez we've just been told the call on the field of safe is being reviewed. Initially, it looked like he called him out, but then changed the call to safe. And so the play is going to be reviewed here. And such a critical call here. So the call... Well, I can tell you they're reviewing the call. I think our bases umpire mistakenly said that the call on the field was safe, but in fact the call on the field was out. And so they're reviewing whether that out call was the correct call. The ball was low on the throw from Bates, who had to charge that slow bouncer. He was playing deep short, right on the cutoff of the grass and shallow left center field, and so he charged it, but a quality defensive play, got the ball to first, and a big stretch from Sasaki on that low throw. And so now we play the waiting game here in the 7th inning. It didn't look like, unless there was the ball was juggled or Sasaki's foot came off the bag, which are the only two things I could think might possibly be, because the ball did beat the batter. Yeah, the call on the field stands. And the inning is over. So the Broncos do get a run, but they do not tie it up. We'll go to the 8th here at Schott Stadium. Stanford 4, Santa Clara 3 on ESPN+. 4-3 Stanford as we take a look at a game recap. 3-run second inning, and 2 of the runs came on this sac fly from Court McDonald on a great catch out there by Devine, but the runners at third and second scored, and then Sasaki hit a solo homer to lead off the third. It was a 3-run second, a run in the third, and then the Broncos were able to get that hit from Kai Cunningham, a double and an RBI in the fourth. And then the Broncos tacked on a run. It's now 4-3. Broncos got 2 runs in that 4th inning. Stanford now batting here in the 8th inning. Charlie Bates, Jimmy Nadai, and Nolan Stoll. And the pitch at the plate, that one is in there for a strike at 2-1. Vincent Braga on the mound for Santa Clara. And a late hack fouls that one back. This one to the left of third. Diving stop over there. A spin and a throw, and that throw will be wide. Camden Sauce, who has sparkled in this one with a couple of nice plays, diving to his left, mad at himself, but really did about all you can do on a hot shot. Diving to his left, and just could not get enough on that throw. I'm not sure they would have had Charlie Bates anyway. So a leadoff single of the infield variety. And Jimmy Nadai, the batter, squaring to bunt and fouling it back into the screen. Nadai, a bunt single. And a single to the outfield, sandwiched around a ground out in the 4th. So 2 for 3. Bates being held on over at first. Nadai squaring to bunt and pops it up into the air, and it's caught over there at first. And Nadai, frustrated with himself, claps his hands together, popping out to first for the first out of the 8th inning. Have a pinch hitter now for Stanford. Brady Reynolds, junior from Bakersfield, 264 batting average. Get a chance to pinch hit here in the 8th. With a runner at first, and hits it well to left field. Back on the ball for Santa Clara is Fujimoto, and it is out of here. First pitch, off the bench, 2-run blast, 6-3 Stanford. That ball, there's a little bit of a breeze, but I don't think the breeze really affected it. It was hit that well as he sprints over to the dugout, and his teammates celebrate with him. That is Reynolds' 3rd home run of the season. And you see that ball carrying. And it's actually Max Ross out in left field now after coming on as a pinch hitter. But nevertheless, 6-3 now Stanford on the home run for Reynolds. This one's right back to the mound. Brock Sell hit it right on the button, but right back to the mound. So with 2 away, we go to the top of the order. And McDonald, 2-run home run for Reynolds. Sasaki has a home run. Reynolds a pinch hit home run. It's now 27 of their last 29 games with a long ball for Stanford. A hit, a sacrifice, and 2 RBIs, a strikeout, and a pop out. That's been Court McDonald's evening. Braga has faced 5 batters. And Stanford seems to be seeing him well. There's a good pitch in there for a strike, 2-1. McDonald, .356 batting average, 26 hits, 73 at bats. Big swing. Fouling it off. Count even at 2-2. Santa Clara will have Viskovich, Tiendas, and Sauce to bat in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Two. Nice fastball, but riding a little bit high. 6 runs, 8 hits for Stanford. 3 runs, 8 hits for Santa Clara. This one fouled at the plate on the full count pitch. Eric Gian on deck. Stanford trying to make it back-to-back wins after dropping the first 2 games of the series with Miami over the weekend. Only to come back and put 14 runs on the board against the Hurricanes on Sunday. Santa Clara was swept up in Stockton over the weekend in a 3-game series. Here's the 3-2. Another foul ball. It's good to hear the ball hitting the aluminum and not a car or a car alarm, as we are bracketed on both sides of the home plate area, or rather the grandstand behind home plate, by parking. McDonald draws the walk. A 2-out free pass. And looks like we might have a new pitcher as Braga waits, and there will be a conference at the mound. And we will take a break. 6-3 Stanford. 2 more runs here in the 8th inning and still batting. We'll come back to Schott Stadium in Santa Clara after this break on ESPN+. This is the 8th pitcher of the night for Rusty Filter and the Broncos, as Santa Clara trails 6-3 Stanford. 2 more runs pushed across here in the 8th inning. And the righty is Cooper Lands, the senior who did pitch against his former team over the weekend. The Pacific Tigers went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and a couple of strikeouts, making his 12th appearance and trying to help the Broncos get out of this 8th inning. We could also get you caught up on some of those defensive replacements and changes, as Ross is in left field, Andrew Raymond is in center, Luke Devine goes from center to right, Thomas Ferrajaro is at second base, Cunningham remains at short, Sauce remains at third, Will Anderson over at first, and the new pitcher once again is Cooper Lands. And facing Eric Gian, the second baseman. And Cooper's going to come right after him here and get ahead in the count. Looking for his first hit. McDonald, the runner at first. Anderson holding him on over there. Infield playing back at second, short, and third, and a quick turn and a throw over. Stanford 3 in the second, single run in the third, and now 2 here in the 8th. Lands, that one's turned on and pulled toward Salinas. That one went right 3/4 of the way up the netting behind the third base dugout. You really have to turn quickly to get that ball up into that netting that fast. Saw a pitch he liked. Now behind in the count, 0-2 to Cooper Lands. Left a little bit high. Last year, 13 appearances for Lands, 3.75 ERA, 28 strikeouts in 36 innings. McDonald safely back. Gian's average now at 330. Holds that bat out over home plate. And just missing with that pitch. Lands a couple of steps toward the first base dugout. McDonald at first. 2-2. Just missed it. Straight back over the screen. Started at 63 degrees, now 56 here in Santa Clara. Barely a breeze here as Lands tries to get out of this top. But there goes the runner. This one's grounded out to short. To his right is Cunningham, and he throws to first for the out. Well done by Kai Cunningham. 6-3 on the putout. 2 runs in the 8th for Stanford. Will go to the home half. 6-3 Cardinal on ESPN+. Santa Clara with 6 outs to play with here, at least to try and pull even. They're down 6-3 to Stanford in the second and final meeting between these two teams this year. Broncos won last week, 2-1 at Sunken Diamond, and the Cardinal trying to return the favor here at Schott Stadium. Santa Clara will have a pinch hitter to start the inning. Trevor Moore remains out there for the Cardinals as he got the final out with, at the time, the tying and go-ahead run on base and in scoring position for Santa Clara in the 7th inning. Mateo Garcia will bat for Bryant Viscovich. The senior gives Rusty Filter a left-handed pinch hit bat off the bench. And Stanford swings the shift all the way over to the right field side. So 3 infielders. As the right-hander Moore throws to the left-hander Garcia, and he hits it well to center field. On the run back there is McDonald. It's over his head, and one hops the wall. First pitch swinging, as both teams continue to do here. And Garcia has himself a pinch hit leadoff double for Santa Clara here in the 8th. And if you're going to start a rally late, this is how you might do it. We told you Andrew Raymond came on and played center field last inning. He'll now come on to hit here. Another left-handed bat hitting .259, 21 hits, 81 at-bats. And Moore throws off the fist, slow roller, played at third. Well done over there by J.J. Moran. And ending up at third is Garcia. Those are always tough, cued out there, and it was a smart play by Moore to let his third baseman take that. Had Moore attempted to field it, his momentum would have been carrying him toward the third base visitor's dugout. And so now a runner at third with one away. And the batter is Camden Sauce. Infield, okay to give up a run to get the out. And Moore delivers low. Sauce struck out in the 2nd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th and scored a run, and then struck out in the 6th. Swinging through that offering. Garcia walking lead from third. Here's the 1-1. And Moore keeping that one down. Cunningham on deck. One away here in the 8th. That one's low and outside. Cunningham has an RBI double. That was back in the 4th when the Broncos got their first 2 runs. He is the tying run on deck. Santa Clara trying to get this to a position where he could get out there, and it will not be in this at bat as Sauce swings through a fastball and strikes out. Good looking pitch. Just had his bat go over the top of it. And maybe that was a slider. So that'll bring up the shortstop Cunningham, who is 1 for 3 with an RBI. You don't see that very often. We'll look over and then a throw over to third. A little soft toss from Moore, as Moran was close to the bag. Cunningham has his average at .222. That one's in the dirt. Gets by the catcher, and Garcia will score from third. On a wild pitch. And Santa Clara makes it 6-4 Stanford. That one looked like it bounced right about at the plate. Wheeler on deck. As Moore delivers high 2-0. Cunningham has played a solid shortstop in this one. Has the hit in the RBI. That one's in the dirt and gets past the catcher. It's no longer Stoll back there, but Luke Lavin. Tokheim, McDonald, and Sell in the outfield. That one is inside for ball 4. And the Broncos will bring the tying run to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th. And it'll be Wheeler to come to the plate. Just to note, Wheeler does not have a home run this year, but he did come into the game, and as you see there, singled and scored a run for Santa Clara. Here's the pitch in there for a strike. He scored in the Broncos' 7th inning. Check swing. All square at a ball and a strike. Check swing on a breaking ball. So now for Wheeler, it's just to figure out a way to get a good swing on something. And Trevor Moore has been mixing it up really nicely to keep Wheeler off balance. Wheeler crowds the plate. And a big swing, but fouled off to the left side. That will get back and out of play. Cunningham, the runner at first. Wheeler represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 8th. 2 outs. Check swing on a breaking ball. And Trevor Moore doing everything he can not to give Wheeler a fastball. And he's got a couple pitches to play with. Ahead the count 1-2. Sasaki holding the runner on at first. Moore. This one's bounced right back to the mound. Snagged by Moore and throwing over to first for the final out of the Broncos' 8th inning. They do get a run on a hit with 1 left. We go to the 9th. Stanford 6, Santa Clara 4 on ESPN+. Cooper Lands remains out there for Santa Clara. 6 runs, 8 hits for Stanford, 4 runs, 9 hits for Santa Clara, as the Broncos have left some runners on the base paths these last couple of innings. And right now, the difference in this game is Brady Reynolds' 2-run home run in the 8th inning. Came on as a pinch hitter, and Reynolds delivered the blast. That right now is the difference. And it has been fun to watch Ritaro Sasaki, first baseman for the Cardinal. 3 walks and a solo homer to lead off the 3rd inning. And he'll face Cooper Lands here to lead off the 9th. Big swing. Sasaki. A couple of fans here. Ooh. He's got the power to reach any part of the ballpark with distance. Another big swing and another foul ball. Sasaki, okay, you're going to come after me, Cooper Lands? It's not often you see a batter give signs to the third base coach. Lands ahead the count, 0-2. Did he get him? No. A little bit low. Cooper Lands came on in relief. The Broncos' 8th pitcher of the night. Trying to get the leadoff batter for the Cardinal. And he got him on the outside corner. So Santa Clara needed 9 innings and 5 plate appearances to retire Sasaki. And it's just so difficult. It was about waist high, but where exactly did it cross the plate? Home plate umpire Ruben Candelaria said strikeout. Teddy Tokheim, the left fielder for Stanford. A single, a walk, and 4 trips to the plate. This one's hit well into the gap into right center field, on the run and over the head of the right fielder Luke Devine, and into second base with a sliding double is Tokheim. Opposite field. Second hit of the game for Tokheim, the freshman. Devine, who started the night in center field, had a long run just over his head, had to barehand it off the wall. We'll have a pinch hitter. No, it'll be J.J. Moran, the third baseman, as Stanford would like to add as much as they can here. Had the lead with the Broncos' last chance at it in the bottom of the 9th. Swinging through an off-speed pitch. J.J. Moran, 273, 39 hits so far this season. And you can see the throw down to second as that ball was pulled out of the hand of Cooper Lands. And Mace Wheeler had to jump over into the left-handed batter's box to keep that ball from going to the backstop. Upon seeing that, the runner at second, and a throwback to second. Getting back safely is the runner out there, the freshman, Philip Chong. Another turn and a throwback. And there's a reason why Santa Clara is paying such close attention to Chong, who is one of the pitch runners for David Esker for Stanford. He's got good speed. Lands delivers. High fly ball into center field. Coming in for it is Andrew Raymond, and he'll make the catch. Get the ball back into the infield. 2 away. And we'll see the shortstop, Charlie Bates. A single his last time up. Walked and scored a run in the second. Stanford jumped out to a 3-0 lead with 3 runs in the second. Added a run on the solo homer by Sasaki in the third. And after the Broncos had cut it to 4-3, or rather, And he throws it into center field, lands, threw that across the body and to the left of the shortstop, Cunningham. Or rather, the right from Cunningham's perspective as he was making his way to the bag. Had to reach across his body, and that ball got past him. And so the runner Chong, there you see, having to reach back. Part of the trouble with that for Cooper Lands is he's on the decline of the back of the mound. Santa Clara, one of the top defensive teams in the West Coast Conference, will have an error there. Their first of the game and the first of the game. 1-0 pitch. This one's lifted foul off the netting. Fouled at the plate. And Bates frustrated. He got a pitch to hit there. Bates, .273 batting average. This trip to the plate here in the ninth. 2 outs. Runner at third is the pinch runner Chong. Cooper Lands needs one more strike. Inside. Lands has pitched 1 complete inning. Given up a hit. A double here in the ninth. This is his 5th batter. Swing and a miss. A ball in the dirt. Fielded by Wheeler, who tags out Bates. And that'll take us to the bottom of the 9th inning. Santa Clara's last chance, trailing Stanford 6-4. We'll have it for you after this on ESPN Plus. New pitcher for Stanford. It's Cassius Thomas. We'll tell you about him in just a second as you look at the game recap. Broncos went with an opener and Trevor Banning, and Santa Clara used a new pitcher each inning. 3 runs for the Cardinal in the second. Brock Kettleson started, went 3. Sasaki hit his 13th of the year, solo shot in the third. And Luke Devine has a double and an RBI in this one, but it's Thomas taking center stage. 6'2" senior right-hander from Los Angeles. Previously pitched at Duke, but that was just 1 season before transferring to Stanford. He made 6 appearances for the Blue Devils in 23 with just 1 start, so decided to head to the farm. Made 23 appearances in 2024. Last year as a junior, 10 appearances out of the bullpen with a 2-0 record. And he's come on here to try and shut the door on the Broncos and secure the victory. And the first pitch in there for a strike for the Broncos. They get the top of the order. Max Ross, Thomas, and Ross rolls it over and thrown away. The flip to first from Sasaki gets by Thomas, who was trying to cover. And so the Broncos have the leadoff man on and brings the tying run to the plate. This is a tough play. Sasaki, his momentum was carrying him toward the mound, and really you can't underhand it when your body's moving the opposite direction. So I think he tried to kind of shovel it forward about waist high. And so the Broncos have Ross at first. to start the ninth. And Ferraggiaro, the batter, taking one inside. Hard throwing right-hander. This is his 20th inning of work, or rather, he's got 19 in the third innings at 15 strikeouts with 8 walks. Pitch to the plate in there for a strike. And you're just getting fastball after fastball right now. Ferraggiaro, normally a starter, came on as a pinch hitter. Last time up, flew out to center. Big swing on a ball dipping down into the dirt. Santa Clara has won the last 2 meetings between these two schools, in a series that started all the way back in 1959. 237th meeting. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ferraggiaro. Ross has 5 stolen bases, but he's out at second. And I doubt he'll be going for third. Here, he's a very important base runner. As Thomas, that high set, and a fastball at the letters, called strike 3. So Ferraggiaro strikes out looking. And Ferraggiaro with 2 strikes, maybe just a little bit too close to take. So the Broncos' Luke Devine at the plate. He'll represent the tying run now with 1 out here in the ninth. This one's hit high into right field. Backing up on the ball on the track at the fence and making the catch right in front of the wall is Brock Sell. Tagging and going to third is Max Ross. So Devine, opposite field, just missing the game-tying homer. I mean, literally a step in front of the fence. Probably needed another 5 or 6 feet. And that brings up Will Anderson with 2 outs here in the ninth. Broncos down to their final out. Will Anderson does not have a home run this year. Right now, he just wants to keep things going with the runner at third and Ross. And the pitch to the plate in there for a strike from Cassius Thomas. Anderson hitting .267. Here comes 0-1. This one's off the fist, back a second, and the throw to first is in time. Nice play over there by Gian behind the bag, and that'll do it for Santa Clara. Stanford is going to get the win here by a final of 6-4. Kettleson will get the win. Thomas will get a save as the Cardinal win it by 2 here in Santa Clara. We'll take a look at our play of the game now. And as we look at the players, Stanford going through the line here, it was the big Brady Reynolds 2-run opposite field home run in the 8th inning. Our Rabbit Office Automation play of the game of the pinch hit variety. And an excited Stanford dugout after this 2-run blast that turns out to be the difference in the game. 6-4, the final score. So with the victory, Stanford has won 2 in a row. And they are now 18-19 overall. as they get ready to take on Florida State in their next series. The Broncos drop to 14-25, and they'll have the Portland Pilots right here at Schott Stadium Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's going to do it for us. We invite you to join us at 6 o'clock on the 24th when the Broncos host the Portland Pilots right here at Stephen Schott Stadium and right here on ESPN+. For our director, Emily Smith, and our entire ESPN production team, I'm Anthony Passarelli. Once again, our final score, Stanford wins it 6-4 here at Schott Stadium. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of ESPN.